G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back of course to the Time Bomb channel. Today coming to you live from the RAF Museum in Midlands, UK, and I'm stood here right in front of a World War II Hawker Hurricane, and specific reason is to talk about this little baby here from Zero West, which includes some of the resmelted engine, Rolls-Royce engine of one of these Hawker Hurricanes that I'm stood in front of. So yeah, we're going to get more into detail on the watch in a second. There we go. And again, so here we are in the museum, just to have another look, close our eyes on with our H2. So this is essentially the second version of the H1, which was released I think just last year, which contains that part of the Hawker Hurricane from World War II. Let me just, I forgot my tripod today, so the cameras are going to be a little wobbly. But as we can see in our case back here, so that includes the resmelted metals from that watch, from that engine. And again, what we have with this watch is the slightly reduced case size, and yeah, some updates as well. Very moody matte black lugs there, and also a very, very large firing button crown on the side. When I first looked at it, I thought, yeah, the crown almost looks a little bit out of place, but the more I look at it, the more I think that it actually does fit quite well with the watch. Again, moody black button on the edge there, and yeah, very, very, yeah, I mean, as you guys know, I'm an absolute fan, besotted with everything Zero West. So I'm going to go into more detailed speccage, a little bit more background on the watch when I get home, as I say, because frustratingly I didn't bring the tripod for the camera, and yeah, you guys are going to get seasick if I keep doing all of this talking with the camera flying around. So yeah. Okay, so now back home, and found my phone tripod, which I kind of needed to make that review in the museum. But anyway, there we go. The best laid plans are clearly those that need changing. It was very good to visit RAF Cosford Museum though, and can highly recommend it. So the Zero West H2, the Battle of Britain watch that we have in for review on the channel today. It's not really a watch review. I think it's more of a salute to service, a nod to history, and some admiration of some quality British engineering. Again, I mean, so yeah, I've just showed you the video there. I showed you the watch there in the museum. Just want to say massive thanks to Andrew at Zero West for his continual support. Bloody legend of a bloke. And then of course Simon over Zero West at the Zero West Collective on Bookface. You know, just brilliant support as always, and you know, just nice people to have on your on your radar. So there are going to be only 50 of these watches made, so it is a huge privilege for me to get one in hand on wrist. Okay, so why are they only going to make 50 of these, you ask? Well, the metal used within the watch is rather special, as rare as a rare thing. Let me just zoom in a little bit so we can get closer to the watch. So the H2 is essentially, I think, then a follow-on to the hugely successful H1, which used metals in the caseback from that same aircraft. This one, though, is presented in that slightly smaller case body that Zero West has now started using, which is that 41mm. And as I've said previously, I think it's a really, really, really good choice, because it will allow their watches to be worn on a much greater variety of wrists, because of the recast metals that they use in here, and because of the general size of the case body. They are quite heavy, and thus, you know, may not appeal to all wrist sizes. But this 41, I think, you know, completely changes that. The first time I saw it was with the Flying Scotsman one. I'll throw a vid up to show the link up to the vid there. This H2 watch then was released on October 31st, the anniversary of the end of the Battle of Britain. Battle of Britain, of course, a clear turning point in World War II. From its initiation by Germany's Luftwaffe on July 10th, 1940 to its conclusion, end of October 1940. It's a significant moment in history to commemorate. The dial design, as with the H1 on the H2 then, is based upon the slip turn indicator of the iconic Mark I Hawker Hurricane. And then, of course, the date code of the battle's hardest day, then 18th of the 8th, 1940. The pilot of that aircraft was Sergeant Alexander Girdwood. He was part of 257 Squadron. He was shot down, which, yeah, I suppose it's difficult to say this, really. The fact that he was shot down has allowed us to access to the metals here. He did actually manage to limp away from that downing on the 18th of August 1940. And so what we have, sorry, just let me go back to that again. So mounted into the watchback are then this central disc, contains that rare and original metal recast from that Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, which was of the downed plane P3708. Now the plane's location, the crash plane's location, was re-identified back in 1990, and I think excavation work started around that time by the East Anglian Aircraft Research Group. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating to see the items that they've excavated from that dig, including a flight glove wrapped around a gun sight, bullet hole maps, and I think you can see the remains of that plane and some more information around that dig in the Suffolk Aviation Museum. Now, Zero West have tackled the machining of those repurposed metals with their usual high-risk, hard work approach. Lots of angle grinders, remelting, cleaning, sandcasting and sweat goes into working with 80-year-old metal from a plane crash. And that's essentially what you have held there within that central disc. And that's just there for you to forever cast your eyes over. As I say, I quite like the way that they framed it, or it sits slightly above. The way, of course, that they've done it here gives you a slight sneak peek into the movement on the back there, but I think it just sits so well with the plane's flight number or ref number on there as well. Sadly, though, Sergeant Girdwood was killed in another Hawker Hurricane. That was plane V6852, and that was in October of 1940. And that occurred whilst he was scrambling to defend the airfield that he was stationed at as it was under attack. This ultimate sacrifice by him and many others will be forever honoured by Churchill's poignant words that you can see around the case back.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
Yeah, so the watch itself is not really presenting us, I think, with any significant changes over the previous of the H1 model. I mean, other than, okay, so yeah, there are changes, but I mean, not that overly sort of significant. The concept is still very much the same, but I'm really okay with that because it's what is built into the case back of this watch that makes it stand out, and that's enough for me. However, there are a couple of aspects to note, and that's what I was trying to say then. So you'll notice that the second hand on the H2 here is white. Personally, I preferred the red on the H2, so to the H1, excuse me, because it allowed it to stand out a little bit more, differentiate from the other hands. But I think here, obviously, leaving it white, it bears closer to resemblance to that slip turn dial. Also, as mentioned when I was in the museum, I wasn't 100% sure on the crown when it first came out of the box. I thought the colour, maybe it would have been better being silver, but I think I've gradually grown to like it. It now sort of reminds me a little bit of those Flieger onion crowns, and of course, due to its size, if you do have larger hands, larger fingers, it makes for uber easy operation, setting and winding of that watch. Yeah, I mean, size-wise, I mean, yeah, it's kind of big, it sticks out, and maybe, I'm sure there'll be some of you who think that due to its size, it might warrant some crown guards of some description, or at least some swellings either side of it, just to protect it a little bit. But as I say, I've kind of grown to like it. There's something a little bit odd and peculiar about it as it sticks out on that side, and yeah, I like that. I mentioned the movement buzzing away inside that you can just about see under that disc. It's the Sellita SW200 Top Premium. And yeah, I was just wanted to reference there. So you can see on this one, what they've done is they've had to include these little mounting spikes around that central disc in order to hold it in place. Obviously, I think, you know, they don't have the metals available to cover the complete case back, again, because there's a serious lack of those base metals, meaning they've got less and less to work with. Yeah, again, I did quite like the, you know, the blacked out design on those lugs as well. It just adds a bit, it's very moody, isn't it? And I think they just melt perfectly then into these bespoke straps. Yeah. I think I've waxed lyrical about what I love about Zero West more than enough in previous videos, so I won't labour the point. Suffice to say that to own one of these watches, I think, is a truly unique opportunity to have an incredible piece of history tickling your wrist. And that piece of history, I think, is both a tribute to those that have fought, and it's the ideal way for a watch nutter to continually honour them. The watch to me is a celebration of British engineering, human sacrifice, the preservation and respect of our history, and a fine, fine looking piece of wrist candy. All right, guys. So yeah, the H2 super limited, and yeah, I'm really stoked to have had a chance to get my hands on one of these things. Yeah, I'm not sure at the time of recording this if they've sold out. I'll need to check the website when I get a second. But yeah, beautiful watch. Sorry, last chance wrist shot, everybody. I don't imagine I'll be getting one of these on wrist anytime soon, with them being so limited. But there it is, and that's what it might look like on my. This is my wrist is 7 1/4 inch. God, it looks beautiful. All right, guys. Thanks as always for your time and for your view. I look forward to reading your comments down below, and catch you all in the next watch vid. Cheers.